Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. Julius Erving, affectionately known as Dr. J, isn't simply a ball legend, yet in addition, a shrewd money manager with a total assets of $50 million, he's substantiated himself both on and off the court. Julius Winfield Erving, as well as early life, warmly alluded to as Dr. J, was brought into the world on February 22, 1950 in East Glade, Long Island. His early stages were spent in Roosevelt, New York, where he moved at 13 years old subsequent to living in the adjoining town of Hempstead. Dr. J's childhood in Lengthy Island played a crucial job in molding his personality furthermore, establishing the groundwork for his future achievements. Julius Erving started his ball excursion at the College of Massachusetts Amherst in 1968. During his time there, he showed unprecedented ability, averaging a noteworthy 26.3 focuses and 22 bouncebacks per game for 2 seasons. This exceptional execution made him one of the couple of world-class players to accomplish such exceptional measurements in the NSCAA men's b-ball competition anyway. Erving's dunk capacity, an expertise that would later become incredible, remained generally obscure to people in general, all through his school vocation due to a recently established NCAA rule prohibiting tossing the ball in games regardless of this limitation. Erving's partners actually caught wind of his awesome exhibitions. Practically speaking, meetings undaunted by the difficulties, Erving sought after an expert ball, not set in stone, to show what he can do on a greater stage. In 1971, he started this venture, picking what he called the troublesome street to progress. 15 years later, in his school days, Erving showed his obligation to training by satisfying a vow to his mom and procuring a 4-year college education in imaginative authority. Furthermore, the board from the College of Massachusetts, realizing there is no massive advancement, this accomplishment underscores Erving's commitment to self-awareness and scholarly greatness. Notwithstanding NBA rules forbidding the drafting of players straight out of high school, the ABA presented a difficulty rule permitting early takeoffs from school. Julius Erving exploited this open door, leaving the College of Massachusetts after his lesser year to seek after an expert ball vocation. He inked a worthwhile 4-year contract worth $500,000 spread over 7 years with the Virginia Assistants. Erving burned through no time in transforming the ABA, displaying his remarkable ability and unmistakable style of play described by his aerobatic and forceful dunks in his youngster season. He had a prompt effect, averaging a great 27.3 focuses per game. His heavenly execution procured him acknowledgement. Handling a spot on the All-ABA second group and getting a position in the All-ABA freshman group furthermore, Erving drove the association in hostile bounce-back, further setting his status as a predominant power on the court in spite of his singular achievement. Erving's excursion with the assistants was not without its challenges. Despite the fact that he impelled the group toward the Eastern Gathering Finals, they eventually missed the mark against the impressive New York Nets, driven by Rick Barry, in a hard-battled 7-game series. The Nets thus progressed to the finals, however, were crushed by the ritzy Indiana Pacers. Julius Erving's NBA vocation change from the Abba to the NBA was set apart by legitimate debates and legally binding intricacies, regardless of being chosen by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 1972 NBA draft. Erving thought of himself as entangled in a legally binding back and forth between the Bucks, the Atlanta Birds of Prey, and his previous group, the Virginia Assistants. At first, Erving marked a rewarding agreement with the Falcons, esteeming north of $1 million with a huge reward. Anyway, a question emerged when Erving looked to reconsider his terms with the assistants, just to find that his representative was moreover addressing the group's advantages. This disclosure prompted Erving to mark a beneath-market contract, igniting further dispute. At last, a court request restricted Erving from playing for any group other than the assistants, and the case was shipped off intervention due to legally binding statements. Erving hesitantly got back to the ABA, where he proceeded to exhibit his uncommon ability, averaging a vocation best of 31.9 focuses per game during the 1972-73 season. Erving's landing in the Nets denoted a defining moment for the group as he drove them to their debut NBA title during the 197-73-74 season, prevailing over the Utah Stars, generally viewed as the association's champion player. Erving's remarkable abilities not only raised the Nets, but in addition brought expanded consideration and validity to the ABA. The 1975 to 1976 Abba season denoted the start of the end for the association as it discusses a consolidation with the NBA picked up speed. Both the Nets and the Denver Chunks looked for NBA passage in front of the expected consolidation. Notwithstanding the approaching change, Irving moved the Nets to their last Abba title, overcoming the Chunks in an outright exhilarating confrontation. Irving's heavenly postseason execution acquired him the title of most important player with a normal of 34.7 focuses per game. Amazingly, during that season, Irving accomplished a phenomenal feat by positioning in the main 10 across numerous measurable classifications in the ABA. Counting, focuses, bounce back, helps take, obstructs, free toss rate, and three-point field objective. This amazing achievement remains unparalleled throughout the entire existence of both the ABA. Furthermore, NBA, the 1976 to 1977 season, equipped with headliners like Julius Erving and Nate Archul, were ready to proceed their triumphant ways. Anyway, their arrangements were wrecked when the New York Knicks requested a faltering $4,800 from the Nets as remuneration for infringing on their NBA domain. This surprising charge, combined with proprietor Roy B's disappointment to satisfy commitments of pay increment, for Irving left the headliner disappointed and reluctant to contend under such circumstances as exchanges. Philadelphia 76ers unfurled a few NBA groups competed for the amazing chance to get Irving. The Nets, indeed, even offered him to the New York Knicks in return for waiving the remuneration charge. However, the Knicks declined a choice later, viewed as one of their most horrendously awful in establishment history. At last, the Philadelphia 76ers plunged in, offering a $3 million buyout for Irving's agreement, actually taking care of business for the Nets, and exchanging away their establishment player for a shot at the NBA demonstrated exorbitant. They gotten through a horrid 2,260 record, terrible in the association at the time, pondering the choice. Years after the fact that Bo mourned that the consolidation understanding had managed a deadly disaster for the Nets as an NBA establishment in the interim, Irving consistently changed to his new group, the Philadelphia 76ers, where he rapidly expected an influential position in spite of playing close by different stars like George McGinnis, Lloyd Free, and Doe Collins. Irving kept up with his unselfish playing style together. They pushed the Sixers to an amazing 50-win season, winning the Atlantic Division and securing themselves as a top-drawing group in the NBA. In the end of the season games, Irving drove the Sixers to the NBA Finals, where they went head-to-head against Bill Walton's impressive Portland Pioneers, subsequent to taking a telling 20 series. The Sixers floundered, losing 4 successive games. The defining moment came after a warmed fight between Maurice Lucas and Darryl Dawkins, which lighted the coats and at last drove to their triumph in spite of missing the mark in the finals. Irving's effect on the Sixers and the association overall stayed certain. His caring way to deal with the game and exceptional ability kept on moving both partners and fans the same, solidifying his status as quite possibly one of the ball's most prominent symbols. In 1980, Irving and the Sixers prevailed over the Celtics to come to the NBA Finals, where they confronted the Los Angeles Lakers. It was there that Irving exhibited his unbelievable benchmark move, a tremendous converse layup behind the backboard. Notwithstanding his heroics, the Lakers arose. Successful thanks to a great extent to the splendor of Sorcery Johnson, Irving kept on succeeding independently in the accompanying seasons, acquiring NBA MVP praises in 1981 and getting a spot on the All-NBA First Group in 1982 anyway. The Sixers confronted catastrophe in the end-of-the-season games, including a smashing rout to the Celtics in the 1981 Eastern Meeting Final subsequent to driving the series 3-1, as well as a misfortune to the Lakers in the 1982 NBA Finals in the 1982-1983 season. The Philadelphia 76ers took a game-changing action by procuring Moses Malone, a predominant center, to reinforce their program with Malone, uniting with Julius Erving. The Sixers bragged one the most imposing center mixes in NBA history. This powerful team moved the group to an outstanding season, ruling their rivals on the court. In 1986 profession after B-Ball, Irving reported his choice to resign from Proficient Ball after the season as he left on his goodbye visit. Rival groups across the association honored his surprising vocation from Boston, to Los Angeles urban areas that had been his long-term season finisher. Enemies extended their regard and deference for Irving, recognizing his influence on the game and his inheritance as one of b-ball's legends. Irving's goodbye season was a demonstration of his perseverance through impact and the significant regard he collected from fans, partners, and, what's more, rivals. As he bid goodbye to the game he had committed his life to, Irving abandoned a heritage that would perpetually be carved in the chronicles of ball history, subsequent to closing his renowned ball vocation. Julius Erving left on another part filled with assorted adventures and accomplishments. In 1986, he achieved his single man's degree through the College Without Walls program at the College of Massachusetts, exhibiting his obligation to long-lasting learning and self-awareness, changing into the business world. Thanks for watching this video.